Hi, I want to talk briefly about, oh, that camera is quite close, about one of the reasons that can cause this sort of high functioning depression, if you like, and it's being the square peg in a round hole syndrome, which is really very common for a lot of people. And it's when the person is, I mean, it speaks for itself, when the person is not really paying attention to their own values and interests, and maybe have gone down a career route or a job route or something, a profession that, was a good thing to do, maybe pays well, it's a good profession and sets you up for life, but deep down, not really. It's not really hitting the sweet spot. It's not really making you tick. And I think this can be the source of a lot of sadness for people because they feel that, they have to keep all the balls up in the air. They go down a certain route and then a certain standard of living. And then, well, how can I change from this? Because how can I, step back from this because I lose everything that I have. And these are very real issues, real problems, and I understand them. And it's something that, I've kind of experienced myself. And it takes a bit of planning, and it absolutely can be done 100%. But it's so important to do something in your life that makes you tick, something that, ticks those boxes for you, for your values, your interests, your hobbies. You need to have something in your life that, even if you are in a job or a profession that is very high stress and it's putting a lot of demands on you and it's causing you grief. But if you've got some balance and you've got something that's, which is, if you like, your coping skill, your hobby or your interest that really floats your boat and something where you can really be yourself, that can give you that balance. It mightn't be the entire balance that you want, ideally, but it can certainly help. So this is something worth thinking about, and for people who are, it's the square peg in the round hole syndrome. I could talk all night about it, but I just want to do a brief video on it. Um, and I think it's so important to really look at your life and see, is there a way of maybe stepping back from it or stepping sideways or bringing in more of what you really like to do in your life, your activities, your hobbies and stuff, so that you're being true to yourself, because this is what it's about, not being true to yourself. Not sort of honoring your true self, your true nature. And that can really be a source of grief and sadness and depression. And people can keep functioning normally day to day in their day to day lives and keep working and being professional in their jobs, but at the same time not fully being true to themselves. And this is creating and causing this underlying sadness, this underlying um, sort of irritability and frustration that maybe you're not really, not you're wondering, why is it there, what's going on. And I often, people are actually not aware of it and just get sucked into that lifestyle, and without, and people can be, you can be afraid to really address this, because it's a question of, well, how do I actually shift from this, how do I move from this? I've got myself to this point in my life, and how can I go and do something else? I don't know anything else. But there's always a way. There's always a way. As long as you've got breath in you, there's a way to sidestep and to bring in more activities and maybe focus on different things in your life. So you're being more true to yourself and feeling more honest and more true about what makes you tick and what floats your boat. It's really important to do things that float your boat. I love that expression because it's about lifting people up. It's about helping you feel better, giving you that lightness in your life, that enthusiasm and that motivation. So I hope that's been helpful, just shining a light on some topics for the moment, and a lot more to come. Have a great evening. Bye for now.